A federal employee charged with terrorism. She is accused of sharing the name of a federal agent with someone who made a threat against them. We learned of Karen De Leon's arrest just within the last 20 minutes. The Cameron County DA's office says she revealed the agent's name on a social media live stream. The stream was part of a federal law enforcement operation in June. Another man reportedly made a death threat toward one of the agents in the live stream. That is who she allegedly gave the agent's name to. The DA's office says De Leon is an employee at the United States Attorney's Office in Brownsville. She is charged with terrorism and tampering with evidence.
They thought the text group chat of 40 cops wouldn't be leaked last year. A joke about target practice at migrant shelters in Denver played out in the thread in March of 2024. Denver officer Rodrigo Basurdo wrote, "Should go to the migrant hotel on 6th and Federal and shoot them there, LOL, plenty of targets." Officer Megan Joy responded, LMAO, with a laughing emoji. Officer Scott Persichetti asked, "When we doing this?" The joking got 3 of them in front of internal affairs investigators and then got them fired from DPD last year. Today we've learned Scott Persichetti has been hired in the small town of Keensburg, just south of Greeley, and is training to be a school resource officer.
I think they should have done their due diligence when they hired him.
Sonny Subia is the state director of the League of United Latin American Citizens in Colorado. He's also a state-certified expulsion hearing officer who works with SROs often. He calls the rehiring of Persichetti disturbing.
Those are the people, the face of the department. And sometimes these are the first times kids have any interaction with the officer. And of course, it's going to get out that he was fired for making some racial comments. And it's going to be disturbing to some of the kids that are there.
Keensburg Chief of Police James Jensen sent us a statement saying Officer Persichetti has shown genuine remorse. People mess up. What tends to define us more is what we do afterward. Whether we own it, make it right, and keep trying to do better, the chief added. We've also learned Officer Rodrigo Basurdo, who was an immigrant himself and got his citizenship in 2022, was recently hired as an officer in the city of Sheridan, south of Denver. His new chief of police sent a statement saying, in part, "I believe in second chances. If your loved one lived an admirable life and then made a mistake, I believe we would all want them to have a second chance." As for Megan Joy, online records show she is still state certified to be an officer but is not currently employed. And these officers will forever carry the mark of termination on their records as required by state law. Both chiefs of police say their new hires are excelling at their new jobs.
Good morning and welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m. bright and early right here at home on the range. Thank you so much for being here today, folks. I really appreciate you. I hope you're having a wonderful Thanksgiving morning. I'm sure glad you showed up to watch the Bad Apple Report. It wouldn't be a proper Thanksgiving morning here at home on the range without some jive turkeys to tell you about. We're going to start off with this police officer who's accused of stealing cash from L.A. motorists during stops. That's a jive turkey. 38-year-old police officer is facing possibility of 4 years in state prison after investigators allege that he stole cash from motorists during traffic stops. That's what the L.A. District Attorney's Office has announced. His name is Jose Antonio Garcia. He's a resident of Long Beach who worked for the West Covina Police Department, reportedly took $1,000 over the course of 3 traffic stops between September 2024 and February 2025. Ooh. In one instance, the officer searched the victim's vehicle and allegedly stole approximately $600 in cash from their wallet before then arresting the motorist. A month later, Garcia is accused of taking $100 in cash from a passenger's backpack and letting the occupants off with a verbal warning. In a third traffic stop, early 2025, Garcia reportedly stole $300 in cash stashed inside the vehicle's center console before releasing the victim with a verbal warning. Quote, "Stealing from the very people you were sworn to protect is a profound betrayal of the badge." That's what the LA County District Attorney Nathan Hochman said. Quote, "When an officer turns routine traffic stops into opportunities for theft for their own benefit, it corrodes public trust and blah, blah, blah." We know. That's what the Bad Apple Report's for. Making sure everybody knows. Okay, the 38-year-old was charged with 1 felony count each of misappropriation of public funds and grand theft by embezzlement, along with 2 misdemeanor counts of petty theft. And then there's going to be, well, we fully support due process, blah, blah, blah. We're not all like this. That's the chief says. He is a jive turkey, and he made it on the Thanksgiving episode of the Bad Apple Report. Thank you for being here. Let's move on.
I mean, could you at least talk to us about something? Closed doors and no comments tonight from the elected leader of the town of Mount Vernon. Mayor Eric Peoples still refusing to answer our questions nearly a month after a Fox 10 investigation showed leaked body camera video of a controversial arrest. Officer Newman Brazier pepper spraying, tasing, and dragging a handcuffed man on May 10th of this year. New tonight, Brazier's law enforcement license has now been temporarily suspended by the Alabama Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission. The town's attorney, Jay Ross, says Brazier is now on unpaid administrative leave and will have a full hearing in front of the commission early next year. Last week, Mount Vernon Police Chief Eric Petway told Fox 10 News he was fired without a reason or a termination letter. That came after Petway told me Mayor Peoples would not let him discipline Officer Brazier, even though Petway says he violated the department's use of force policy. Since airing this leaked video on October 28th, we tried to speak to Mayor Eric Peoples on camera, but he's refused. So we took our questions to the town hall meeting Tuesday night. And when I spoke to you, Mayor Peoples, you mentioned that the council made the decision to go in a different direction to pick a new chief. Is there any particular reason why that decision?
There's no particular reason they decided to go in a different direction.
While most of my questions were directed to the elected council members and mayor, the town's attorney, Jay Ross, did all the answering. During the meeting, citizens voiced their frustrations, asking the council and the mayor for more transparency and better leadership.
Why the other chief was let go of, and what's all the confusion, and will we get information concerning that at a later date, or so we will know what happened and what went on? Okay, because we're looking forward to hearing about it, because it's in our town. This is our town.
Nana Henderson tells me she wants to know why Officer Brazier is just on unpaid leave.
And for something like that to happen and nothing is done, and months before we were even informed about it, it was a disgrace. I mean, they're not coming forward. They're not answering the questions. As you saw today, it was the attorney now saying he's not letting them speak, and they're refusing to speak.
Ross told me he has received my open records request to get the full body camera video of the controversial arrest, which I asked for more than 2 weeks ago. I'm told we should hear something next week about the former chief and Officer Brazier. We will continue to press for answers and accountability.
We have a looky-loo from Ohio. He's a former Ohio police officer. He's been accused of voyeurism. And what does it say about him? It says here that the Cox Media Group sites use technology such as cookies. I wasn't supposed to be reading that. What I'm supposed to be reading is about Lake County. A former police officer in northern Ohio is facing charges after being accused of filming upskirt videos. Whoa! Christopher Patty is his name, who worked as a police officer in several northeast Ohio communities. He has been charged with 2 counts of voyeurism. Good grief. He's accused of using his cell phone to film upskirt videos earlier this month. Records obtained by the news show that 4 days after the alleged incident, Patty resigned as a part-time officer with the Madison Township Police Department in Lake County. He was found out and he was embarrassed, allegedly. News Center 7 checked Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy records, which showed Patty resigned in, quote, good standing with no pending discipline. Oh, he's going to skip to Malou off to another department where they don't know all about him. Records show that Patty has nearly 30 years of law enforcement experience. Wow! He spent over 20 years with the Mentor Police Department. Bunch of mentors at the Mentor Police Department. Patty's currently out on bond. Wellity, well. Okay. Thanks for being here, folks. Let's move on with the show.
The allegations of racism in the Glendora Police Department are disturbing, and this officer is also alerting the community about what he calls arrest quotas.
I want to pursue a job and a career where I could help people in a tangible way.
Officer Andrew Huang joined the Glendora Police Department in 2023. He says he loves serving his community, but hates being subjected to racial harassment inside the department.
These high-ranking supervisors are telling me and making these jabs and comments at me knowing that I can't say anything.
He says one incident happened during an end-of-deployment dinner at a sushi restaurant in Rancho Cucamonga. A lieutenant allegedly told him to get back in the kitchen and cook for the group because you're Asian.
They knew that this is wrong. You're not supposed to do this. We're in 2025. You're telling your only Asian officer to go back in the kitchen and cook for them because because what? I look different than you because I'm Asian? I'm Korean. I'm not even Japanese.
I don't know why the city would permit such conduct to go on. They have a growing Asian American population in the city of Glendora. 11% of their population is Asian American, and this is a concern.
Officer Huang says he was also dealing with directives to increase arrests. He showed us messages from the president of the Police Officers Association, urging officers to push arrest numbers up to 1,700 a year. Other messages sent out to officers included, "The jail sure is empty," and "Those crickets are getting loud."
If you put a pressure and you put an expectation of a quota onto officers, it just gives them, opens the door to corruption, to do unethical stops, unethical arrests.
When Officer Huang finally reported the harassment, he says the department did not protect him. Instead, he says his complaint was exposed, and then he became the target of 3 separate investigations.
They did it in retaliation to try to make it look like he was bad at his job, to create a sort of pseudo paper trail to try to terminate him.
Every day we put on a badge and gun and a bulletproof vest, and it's a grim reminder of the risks that we take on an everyday basis in order to protect the community, only to be betrayed, racially discriminated.
Officer Huang was placed on administrative leave. His attorneys argue that the same supervisors who were discriminating against him were also involved in the investigation.
You guys, if you see a fly buzzing around while I'm trying to read about this Pittsburgh police officer who's the final jive turkey of the day, it's because they're filming a Feed the Children commercial in the studio next door. That's a holiday joke about this fly that's buzzing around me. Pittsburgh police officer's been charged, and he's now on leave. He's charged with assault. That's what this segment is about from Dormont, Pennsylvania. Sources tell Channel 11 that the Pittsburgh police officer is off the job after being charged with assault. Police arrested Officer Adam Germeyer, age 34. Oh, Germeyer. On Saturday morning along the Eastmont Street in Dormont. Germeyer is accused of pushing his wife to the ground and causing her to cut her chin. Whoa, Germeyer. Pretty hard there, Germeyer. Police say Germeyer's wife had tried to drive off with their children after a night out. Germeyer told officers he knew his wife had been drinking. He tried to stop her from driving with the kids. Well, smash her face into the ground. That'll do it every time, allegedly. That's all we know about old hard Germeyer. Thanks for being here, folks. Let's move on with the show.
At the August trial for Abdi Fattah Yusuf, the jury heard evidence that he ran his home health care company Promise Health out of a mailbox at a Central Avenue address where multiple other home health care companies were supposedly located. Yusuf and his wife Lol Ahmed were charged with stealing $7.2 million of taxpayer money through Medicaid overbilling in a personal care assistant or PCA scam. The couple allegedly spent tens of thousands of the fraud money on luxury items for themselves. Despite the jury swiftly convicting Yusuf, Judge Sarah West last week decided they got it wrong.
It's reversing or overturning a jury's verdict.
Defense attorney Joe Tamburino, who's not affiliated with this case, reviewed the decision and analyzed it for KARE 11 News. He says Judge West ruled that the state's case relied heavily on circumstantial evidence and that she believed the state did not rule out other reasonable inferences.
That, in fact, there could have been other reasonable theories other than guilt in this case. That's what it comes down to.
Despite the ruling, even Judge West wrote that she is troubled by the manner in which fraud was able to be perpetuated at Promise Health.
I was stunned.
State Representative Kristen Robbins, chair of the House Fraud Prevention and State Oversight Committee, says she's now reviewing if any state laws need to be tightened.
We want to strengthen state law so that we can get prosecutions out of these cases, because clearly a jury thought he was guilty.
Jurors in the case can't believe the decision.
I am shocked. I'm shocked based off of all of the evidence that was presented to us and the obvious guilt that we saw based off of the said evidence. It was not a difficult decision whatsoever. The deliberation took probably 4 hours at most. Based off of the state's evidence that was presented, I was beyond a reasonable doubt.
The attorney for Mr. Youssef, Ian Burrell, sent me a statement today that says, in part, Judge West's ruling affirms what we have maintained from the beginning, that our client, Mr. Youssef, was wrongfully accused and did not commit fraud or racketeering. The Attorney General's office filed an appeal this afternoon, so the Minnesota Court of Appeals will take a second look at this decision. Julie.
So, Lou, did Mr. Tamburino, did he have any kind of emotional reaction? This is pretty stunning. This does not happen.
Yeah, he leaned towards the idea that this was kind of a one-off and that it would have a good chance at appeal. But the worry is that there's so many other cases just like it where somebody's in the exact same position as Mr. Youssef but is charged with fraud. And if the judge can determine that maybe they didn't know that the fraud was going on underneath them in the case, then other judges could throw it out just like this one.
All right. Do you know how quickly the Court of Appeals would take this up? Any idea?
Probably months.
All right. Thank you.
Another batch of bad apples for you, or jive turkeys as they are being referred to today on this special Thanksgiving Day, in which I am very thankful for you, just like every day. I really do appreciate you watching the Bad Apple Report with me right here at home on the range every morning, and I hope to see you right back here on the next video. Have a great day. Don't eat too much.